You got another 65, 70 minutes in you?
I think so. I think just going half last game, I was able to get some energy back a couple days and regen, and I think that's a good number. Yeah.
How do the rest of the guys, how does it feel since you played so many games in so few days here at home travel?
Yeah. I think everyone, the whole league, all the guys are feeling it. I think it's just who can recover quickest, who can have a game model set up to play against their opponent the best, and who can execute it the best.
Can you describe your role a little more, especially when you are in a back three? It seems like you're being asked to kind of just find pockets, essentially.
Yeah, obviously I've played a couple different roles, but when we play five in the back or build out with three, Gonzo likes me playing in the pocket. Internal winger, he likes to call it.
Okay.
Just trying to find the pockets, turn, play Brooksy in behind. I know he's always bombing forward and behind, so if I can find those areas, get in the box when the ball's on the opposite side as well, just trying to do that.
Does it feel like open competition for you, like week to week, just trying to get a starting spot, or do you kind of know a rotation, or can you kind of talk about that?
I mean, there's obviously competition. I think now that we're playing five in the back, it's a little different, and some players are more out-and-out wingers, some are more internal. So I think fortunate for me, I can kind of play both, and I've kind of played that role in a couple of games, so hopefully I can keep doing that.
Has this year been more fun for you just because you've gotten some opportunities to finally kind of get out there after?
Yeah, for sure. I think scoring the goals makes it fun.
Yeah.
And being in the bins and seeing all the fans, it obviously makes a lot of fun. But I think we got a good group, and we've been winning some games where we're so close to getting to that kind of third, second place spot in the standing. So I think if we can keep pushing and get a win this weekend, it'll help us a lot.
Homegrowns have scored 9 goals this season, which is more than ever before in Atlanta United history. What's leading to this success that y'all are finding this season?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a homegrown season. Another guy playing, scoring goals. It kind of motivates some of the younger guys to play and want to get in games and score as well. And it's kind of a domino effect. One guy scores, the next guy scores, and I think we're just happy for each other and proud to come from the academy and that we're doing well this season.
Just playing alongside a player like Jaco, who just kind of seems to score for fun, does that kind of help in that sense?
A little bit, yeah. I think just the chances that he creates for himself, but also for other players, holding the ball up and getting him behind, just kind of being just having a lot of activity, being a tough opponent to play against the back line. I think it helps create chances for us.
You've done tournament games and then gone back to league games, but now you're about to go, after this one, a month without playing a league game. Is this weird? Does it feel weird?
Yeah, I think we're not completely there yet, but I think once we kind of turn this page against Orlando, we'll have to kind of reset and think about how this new tournament works. And obviously, I think it'll be different for everybody, how the point system is and everything. But I think it'll be interesting.
And sudden miss among soccer players, Publix or Kroger? Where do you do your grocery shopping? Now that we know where Messi goes.
Yeah, I have to say Publix for sure. Yeah.
Could you talk a little about the shift that you guys made in Montreal in that second half, where you dropped deeper and almost became more of a deep-lying central midfielder?
Yeah, I think once we got that goal, we had the lead. I think they were coming at us with everything, so we put in a huge shift. All the guys from the bench coming on did a huge part, and it was awesome to see us grind that out. We were watching video of just the tackles we were putting in and how locked in we were in those final moments of the game. It was good to see.
You mentioned playing a lot of different roles. That one was another one kind of a little different, almost as not quite a double pivot, but maybe a triple pivot. Is that versatility something that you've really worked on to get on the field more?
Yeah, I think just from season to season, I've played a few different spots with different coaches, but since I was younger, I always thought I could play a couple different positions. So I think just the experience along the way and being in different scenarios, and it helps for sure.
The defensive side of the game has always been a real strong point for you, even when you played up top.
Yeah, I think if we can defend us heavy up top, it makes it harder for the team to get through our whole team. So, yeah.
You were the difference maker in Orlando last time. Now you guys are playing a little bit of a different system. How do you affect that in kind of the same way, and how do you get as involved as you did?
Yeah, I think if we can go in the bins, we're home. We go with the same energy we have in the past. If we can go out right away, get some shots, some chances. I know last game, I think against Philly, we got a PK in the first 5-10 minutes or something. I think if we can go throw a punch in the first 10 minutes, I think it sets us up good for the rest of the game.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tyler.
Appreciate it, man.
Are Gigi and Miles available for selection for Saturday?
Yes,
Will they be selected for Saturday?
maybe. Yeah. They're available, and yeah, we have to see a couple things, but yeah, I think pretty much they're available and probably ready to go if I need them.
And considering just the games and the travel, is there anyone who has been playing who's just going to rest on
No.
Saturday?
Not in my plans. For me, everyone is available. Actually, one of the great things we had today is the first time in a long time we have pretty much everyone on the field. All the players available are in, so that was good news, of course. And aside from Muyumba, who still can train due to the visas, it's just waiting for that. But then the rest are pretty close.
And Lopez is likely with the twos?
Yeah, he's going to be good to choose.
Okay.
Why the halftime switches against Montreal?
I feel like good. We changed in terms of formation. We changed since probably 20th minute of the first half. We changed from there. I felt that we start to equalize a bit more the game, like more even. They didn't have those quick space, big spaces on the flanks, especially for their fullbacks, and their overloads, especially on Caleb's side with Carlos Hill, Brandon Bay, and then 1-9 that was dropping in that side. So. So I think we fixed it since probably around 20th, 30th minute of the first half. But then second half we were more specific. Of course, the change, having a natural winger there, or an inverted winger with Derek on the left, and then refreshing a little bit the middle. That was part of the plan with Santi, resting him for 45. But I think it went well. We came up better in the second half. We created a few chances, some good chances, and we were back into the game, but unfortunately we couldn't score a goal a little bit earlier, so we had some momentum, and then we can go for the tie and then for the win.
You talked after the New England game about being able to switch from back three to a back two more organically in the game, and Ronald Hernandez helps do that, I assume, because he's played fullback before. But with Miles back, if you have three true center backs, how might that work?
Yeah, probably the same, because you have players that, for example, Abraham, he played actually in a back four for Cruz Azul in Mexico as a left back. Probably didn't go well, but I think in that moment Cruz Azul wasn't in a great shape. But I think he can be able also to shift on that side, and then that pushes Caleb Wiley as a winger. having Brooks also capable of playing there as a winger. I mean, it can be organically on certain moments, not just, okay, now we're back five, and then until my boys, you have to switch to back four. You can do that during the game, depends on how many players they press, the active defending, how many players they leave for transition. So you can be more flexible in there, but that requires time to work with that.
Was there anything in particular New England kind of exploited in the back three?
No, I think what they did is mainly putting almost three forwards up front, out wide at times, and then, that was pinning almost our back five. So then a lot of space for their fullbacks. Their long switches were very dangerous for us. And then Carles Hill, who's very unpredictable where he can end it up. I think he was targeting more our left side, their right. And then from there, the first goal came, and they had some momentum there. But I feel like after those 15, 20 minutes, we were more normal performance, especially playing away. I think it's the first time we put a record there on shots, and then shots on goal. It was the best one in Atlanta United history in away games. So that's a positive. That means that we were doing something right, but unfortunately we were already chasing the game, and that's always the trouble when you concede first, especially in the first few minutes, like you are chasing the game, and then it's not the same.
How do you decide on back five versus back four, kind of going forward after the last game?
Well, many things. I think it's, again, I told you this before, like it's not a matter of the formation. The formation solves nothing on its own. Of course, has some tendencies, some weaknesses, some strengths, any formation. It's more to me how we perform in that, how much we understand the tactics, the game plan, understanding the opponent's strengths, the type of players we're facing, and at times the very little details are the ones that matter in those, right? So are we giving the right angles to the wingers to cross? Are we, our clearances are to the middle or away? Are we stepping up to block crosses? Are we well organized in transition? And at times those little details make the difference, not just the formation. So we're putting emphasis on both, but I think that we have a group that is tactically very sound. They can understand different formations in any moment. So I'm very happy with that response for the team.
Tyler called those wide players in that 3-4-3 an internal winger. That's how you refer to them. Well, I wanted to ask you about Thiago in that role because he's been playing off the left there. And it seems like he's been able to get on the ball more and influence the game more than maybe at some point earlier this season where it seemed like he was kind of getting marked out in the middle. Is that something that you've seen? Is that something that you're trying to focus on tactically?
Yes, I mean the name not really, not like internal wingers, but yeah, attacking midfielders in that position. I think he actually plays in there, but he's kind of a player that is versatile. Tyler can play out wide, can play inside, can play actually as a 10. He has a lot of quality, so his role is mainly to be in the pockets and from there progressing the ball, making runs in behind, and then defensively he has to be able to solidify the middle. So I think he's done great. And then on Thiago's question, I think many teams are trying to figure out how to deal with that. Same as we were trying with Carles Hill and others with Nico Lodeiro, others with Lucas Elarayan. There are big players here in this league, and normally those talented number 10s is how you're gonna try to shut them down or limit their touches. For us, it's the opposite. We try to increase the amount of spaces where Thiago can operate, try to create spaces for him or for others, and then normally, even when we are not getting there, he's so good individually that he can beat anyone in the 1v1, and then from there he creates his own space. What we're trying to do is trying to be have more structure on how we can work all together to create those gaps and those spaces for him or others to attack. So I think they've been understanding that very well, especially with the change of formation. I think that overloads a little bit more the middle, and then we can find him better, I would say. But still, I think, room for improvement on that.
You mentioned Derek earlier too. Seems like he gets the ball still in good positions. He's getting the ball, touches in the box and everything, but obviously the goal production isn't there. How do you coach a player going through something like it seems like he's going through right now?
Confidence, time, believe in him. I think when we scout him, before we were highlighting a lot those heat maps where he ended up taking shots or crosses, and that was exactly what we were missing in our heat map on attacking. When you look at the whole 2022, we had a big hole in that left side and behind the fullbacks, and that was exactly what Derek was producing for his previous clubs. So he's hitting the same. It's just now he hasn't been able to score the first goal. I think he's one of those that once he scored a goal or a good assist and has a good game, he starts to have more belief in himself. So it's our job as coaches just trying to work with him, give him confidence, the right type of training sessions. And I hope he can very soon score his first goal. And then I think because of how many times he gets there, I think once he's confident, he's going to score many goals for us.
How do you help a player, get that confidence to do that? Like you described.
Probably recommending them not to reading Twitter, Instagram. That's a good way. There's a lot of criticism out there from many people, and it's tough for them to live in nowadays. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a way of saying at times cruel things on players and stuff. So that's number one. But number two, of course, is working with them. They have to feel that you believe in them. They have to when you look at them, look at their eyes, and they have to see that you really trust him, that you are on his back and you got him, and that you believe that his abilities are going to help massively in the game plan and massively in that particular game. They have to feel that, and then it's on their own as well. They have to take some responsibilities on growing as a player, growing the self-confidence. It just has to be there all the time, and that's probably the most important part of football is the mental game. Is the mental game, how you talk to yourself in tough moments, in difficult, when you miss, when you score, how you talk internally to yourself. And I think they have to deal with all that. High athletes and at high performance, they have to be able to be strong here, and that's what I expect from them. But they all have my belief. They all have support for myself, from the coaching staff, and I hope that can translate into better performances.
I've talked to Machop before, and he described kind of all the different roles that he could play on the field. What's it like to have a player as versatile as him, and what makes him that kind of player, versatile?
I would say that he has so many attributes. Number one, physically he's gifted. You can see he jumps very well. He's fast. He's also very technical for his size and his body type. At times surprises us always. Those cheeky movements he does, 1-2s, and it's just fun to watch. So he can be someone that can be good at playing in the pockets because of how good his feet is in those areas, receive on the turn and then go at pace at opponents, or he can be out wide and making very good runs in behind, so he can be someone that either in transition or in good build-up, he can get in behind the fullbacks, and also as a 9. I mean, he did a great job early in the preseason playing as a 9, helping us with a lot of runs in behind, stretching the opponent, so just all these characteristics help him to be valuable. And I think it's one of those that I think has to be tactically sound to be able to play for us in different roles, in different positions. And I think he's been very useful.
And how does the role of the striker change between, like, when it's Miguel instead of Gigi? Do you send him to press less intensely? Do you tell him to make different runs? What's the difference?
In terms of the roles are the same. In some ways, they have similar characteristics in some way. All of them work very hard. All of them, they try to press in every moment, trying to help the team. All of them are mobile. All of them try, maybe not in between the lines, but a lot of runs in behind and to stretch the opponents. And then they have some presence inside the box. And it's just the quality to understand inside the 18 which are the most important areas to attack in every cross, right? So and that's what some nines have, that they smell the goal, and they know exactly which areas they have to attack, and that's a quality they have. But in some others, the roles and the responsibilities for the nines are pretty similar.
Can you talk a little bit about Brooks Lennon a bit more, and just kind of what he's been so consistent lately? He's had a really good stretch of games. How do you kind of keep that consistency going into, I mean, you're going to take a little bit of a break and then a different competition, but how do you keep this consistency going?
Well, just continue pushing him. I think one of the main things that people don't highlight is how good defender he's becoming. I think he's becoming a very solid defender. It's hard for opponents to beat him on the 1v1s, and I think he's learning a lot on that. And that's actually his primary role, is defending. And then, of course, we know how much quality he can have on crossing and balance opponents with runs or 1v1 dribbling, crosses. So I think we don't work a lot with him actually offensively. We work more for him individually on defending, and we have to continue pushing him to his limits and to being a better defender, even better defender. And then he's one that is growing very, very fast, and now it's about how we can continue pushing him to higher limits.
What does Orlando do well that could?
Well, they are very solid 4-4-2 defending. They push Pereira with the 9, Cara, or whoever else, and then inverted wingers with tendencies to come inside. But then in possession, I think the tactics that they use with Smith going either as a double pivot, as an attacking midfielder in the pocket, and then the rotations they have. So if he goes as a midfielder, then Araujo goes as a 10 in that inner pocket. Normally Facundo Torres out wide, but at times Facundo Torres can be in the pocket. Smith can be out wide as a winger. So they rotate a lot, especially on the right side. On the left, they've been more solid. They create the back three once Smith goes to those pockets. So they have a similar shape to us, like a kind of in build-up. They have almost a 3-2-4-1 kind of shape with inverted wingers, which makes them to play a lot inside as well. So they try to overload the middle, and then they have players that are very physical in that part of the field to move out. Actually, Araujo likes also the false fullback position at times. So tactically, it's going to be a challenge. We know that. They're a team that is very physical. They have pretty much all the players are fast, are strong, have some physical attribute that makes them very good. And when they play, they can play very good. They have good possession sequences. They have good patterns of play. So they're a dangerous team, and we know that. We just have the hope that we can be better tomorrow.
How does all that factor in what you just said, the physicality and everything, with the fact that you're on such short rest compared to them?
Well, I think I have to rely a lot on, number one, the fitness work that we've been doing with the team. Number two, in the quality of my players on the ball. That's the most important part for me, not just the physical aspect. And number three, in the energy that the stadium brings. So playing a derby at home in front of 45,000+ fans, I think is going to bring a lot of energy. And if you are tired, you won't feel it. You will perform, because that's the magic of football, that once you play there in full stadiums and everyone is supporting you and it's a big derby, you don't get tired. You continue pushing yourself to the limits. So I have to rely on that and how good physically we've been the last few games. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.